Now, many of you already know that dividend is money that, of course, a company pays to its shareholders out of the profits which they generated for a period. Now, there are some of the people that invest in the stock market really like companies that pay out dividends, which is why they would, of course, buy a lot of these companies so that they get rewarded or they get these kind of payouts. Well, personally, you will know that I'm not a dividend guy, but I do invest in some of the companies that pay out dividends. But the reason or primary purpose I invest into those companies is because I see growth into those specific companies. So a dividend to me, it's just a bonus, because when I invest into a stock, I invest for growth, or I invest because I see growth in that particular company. Now, talk about growth and the dividend, ladies and gents. Today, Sun International, ladies and gents, they just announced their 6 months ending in 30th of June 2023, and on those very earnings or 6 months financial statements, ladies and gents, they declared dividend which they'll be paying on the 2nd of October. Now, Sun International, as seen on the screen, you notice that they are trading up almost 8% this morning, and this is because of this dividend declaration and their, of course, earnings, or the good earnings which they produced. You will know that Sun International is a company that we discuss a lot on this channel, because, ladies and gents, this is a company that I've always been saying that locally in the JSE, I personally believe that it's one of the top companies that, as an investor, you would, of course, have to look into and see if you can add it to their portfolio, because this is a company that not only are they declaring, or have they resumed paying their dividends last year in 2022, but they have already paid a dividend early this year around March of around 3 rands and 20 cents, which, of course, I think the net dividend payout was around 2 rands and 88 cents. Now, that is the first dividends that we receive from this stock or company, and to get to see that they just announced yet another dividend which they will be paying on the 2nd of October is something that is incredible. Now, these whole earnings, or these earnings that we receive from this company, like I said, they are the ones that are making these companies to trade up almost 8% this morning, which is making me to be really excited about these companies, because, ladies and gents, not only am I getting or receiving good returns out of this company, but it is a company that will be paying me over 1,675 rands of dividends on the 2nd of October this year. Now, as seen on the screen, you'll notice that on this company, ladies and gents, I'm up over 12%, and my returns onto this company are over 6,000, which is something that I think it is a good thing, right? Because I'm up over 6,000 onto my returns onto this company, because as seen on the screen, notice that I own 1,420 shares of Sun International, and if you have to multiply it with the net dividend payout of 1 rand and 18 cents, it gives me 1,675, which is making me to be really excited. Otherwise, before I dig deep into this video, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. And I really appreciate if you just hit the likes button if you are to enjoy the content that I'll be giving you about Sun International, not only declaring a good dividend but also announcing a good earnings. So if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, because on this channel I talk a lot about companies like Sun International, who I personally believe are just said to do very well. I mean, the fact that we are seeing this company performing much better than what they did last year, which, by the way, those of you that know Sun International, last year Sun International reported, or the kind of earnings that they reported for the full year of 2022 went back to pre-COVID levels. So that was the good news, or something that really excited those that are investing into Sun International, because, ladies and gents, you will know that the traveling and leisure industry companies, or companies in this industry, had been suffering because of the pandemic, which resulted in most of the companies in this industry not to generate as much revenue as they were before the pandemic. So to get to see Sun International coming back to pre-COVID levels on to their full year 2022 earnings was something that is really incredible. Now, these earnings, or the 6 months, of course, financial statements that we got today, are now even better than those 2022 earnings, which, of course, Sun International went back to pre-COVID levels in terms of their revenues. So it simply means that those earnings that we saw for 2022, ladies and gents, chances are very high that Sun International, even for this year 2023, they are going to even thrash them, which is something something that will mean that Sun International is generating the kind of revenues which is even much better than the kind of revenues they were generating before the pandemic, which is something that is some amazing and makes me want to remain long and strong onto this company, because this is one of the JSE stock or stocks, in my personal opinion, that is doing quite well and that is worth your looking. But as I've said, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, guys, and make your own decision. But to me, in fact, in my South African portfolio, ladies and gents, this is a stock that dominates my stock market portfolio, or this is my largest holding stock in my JSE portfolio, which to get to see that I'm up over 12% this morning makes me to be really excited, because, ladies and gents, I'm sort of like heavily invested onto this stock, and over and above that, to get to know that I'll be paid 1,675 on the 2nd of October makes me to be really excited. So without wasting any more of your time, ladies and gents, this company, ladies and gents, when you look into the revenues they generated, ladies and gents, they generated total revenues for the 6 months of around 5.8 billion rand. Now this is 11.7% increase year over year, which, like I said, it simply means that already the first half of this year, or has beaten the first half of the year 2022, which was the year that I'll remind you, which of course Sun International saw themselves coming back to pre-COVID levels in terms of the revenues they generate. So already this first half has beaten the first half of 2022, which is something that is good, right? Which is why they're up 11.7% year over year. Now when we go to the headline earnings per share, ladies and gents, Sun International saw a 86% increase year over year, which of course made them to have a headline earnings per share of around 173 cents, or 1 rand and 73 cents, which is something that of course makes me to be really excited, because like I said, this company continues to do very well. This company continues to improve in terms of the earnings, and this is the exact same thing that I've been telling you about Sun International before we even get these, of course, earnings, because there were signs that Sun International was going to beat the kind of earnings they did in 2022 based on the, of course, tourist inflows that we've been seeing, or the tourist inflow reports that we've been seeing recently. That is something that really made me to conclude that, you know what, I need to load as much as I can onto this company, because the tourist inflows that we are seeing coming into South Africa, ladies and gents, are increasing, which is something that, of course, the more they increase is the more companies like Sun International, they generate lots and lots of revenues, because when tourists come here, they need to stay in hotels, and the Sun International is one of the companies that, of course, provide such services, which is why they are meant to profit from the tourists, or from the big number of tourist inflows that we are seeing coming into South Africa. So Sun International, ladies and gents, as I've said, they are doing well in terms of their earnings, and of course they are also declaring some good dividend payout, because as I've said, this is not the very first time we'll be receiving dividends from Sun International, as we already received a net dividend of around 2 rand and 88 cents around March, but we will be getting or receiving yet another dividend of, or a net dividend of 1 rand and 18 cents, which is something that is incredible to know or to see Sun International doing or announcing this kind of earnings amidst of the current economic conditions. You'll know that the economy in South Africa is not doing that much, and to get to see companies like Sun International doing this well makes me to be really excited as an investor of this company. So I'm very excited about these earnings, and I just thought I'd just give you of course, these quick updates about Sun International and tell you why Sun International this morning is trading at almost 8%. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you buy Sun International for the very first time, please do your own due diligence so that at least you can be comfortable as you are investing onto this stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market and investing journey. And God bless you all.